Yeah, I've got time.
Cell shading art and animation, team building, FPS melee focus, roguelike gameplay, and rockin' 1980s vibes. Welcome to Mythforce. Welcome to another episode of Will It 20 Minute. I'm your host, Nick, and today we are looking at the title Mythforce. Mythforce is an early access title that I picked up last year on Epic. Now, I know Epic is working on being Steam's direct competitor, and while I wasn't initially fond of their servers and store, I think they've come a long way in functionality. They actually won me over with their title World War Z. That was the first title that I picked up on Epic, and for the most part, the titles I've picked up since then really haven't been that bad. Anyways, I picked this up off a trailer I saw for the game last year, and I have not been disappointed. I've mentioned before that I've never really held strong ground on FPS, melee-focused games. They've just never really grabbed me. But after playing Vermintide 2 with friends and committing that time, my opinions have been swayed in favor of FPS-type games where the melee focus is kind of that background. Enter Mythforce. Now, I want to start by saying the intro is legend. It is absolutely what it needs to be. I'm going to go ahead and drop just a little snippet, just the first couple seconds of that intro here, because I really want you to see it. I really want you to see what they've done, and I really want to see the type of feeling, the nostalgia that they're trying to bring to the gamer. So let's hit that intro. All right, so you see what I mean, right? Coming into the game, you're instantly thrown into the beauty of early morning 1980s cartoons. They've taken care to not destroy that nostalgia. I feel like I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons or The Black Cauldron. I feel like I'm a part of it. The fluidity of the gameplay has also come a long way in the year that I've had the game. And of course, with early access, there are good patches and bad patches. I mean, even with full release games, there's going to be good patches and bad patches. There are currently 4 characters you can play as: a knight, a sorcerer, a rogue, and an archer. I'll go ahead and dig into the characters real quick, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the gameplay. All right, so jumping into the characters, you can see here that there are 4. There's Maggie the mage, there's Victoria the knight, there is Hawkins the hunter. I believe I called him an archer previously, but I mean, his primary weapon is archer, and he's dexterity is his thing. And then there's Rico the rogue. Rico's got good dexterity too. So each character does have a degree of difficulty that is associated with them, as can be expected with games like this. So kind of jumping into the characters, so you've got your mage, and as I mentioned, as you level up, each character has their builds that you can kind of pick from. So for Maggie, for example, you have a battle mage, an archmage, and a quick mage. So you can get good at spell casting and be quick with it. You can end up being a fighter mage, a battle mage, or an archmage here as well. So each character has their own setup like that, and you can even go into the character perks, the character skills, and they will demonstrate what each one does. So she can snap. She basically teleports. She has a familiar that she summons. I mean, the familiar looks like everything that comes out of every mythical type animated Dungeons and Dragons style cartoon or game that's around. They have spared no expense on the, you know what it reminds me of? Before I start rambling, it reminds me of the owl in, is it Clash of the Titans? that follows Perseus around? Am I off base there? Anybody drop in the comments if I'm wrong. I'm not double checking. I'm rolling with it. Then she has barrier. So barrier is basically a dome that surrounds her and protects the team. I believe enemies can enter, but they can't attack from outside. All right, moving on to Victoria. Now, Victoria is who I play as most of the time. That is just because Victoria is more my play style. If you've watched any of the games I've played, hopefully you've picked up on the fact that I'm more of a fighter and I'm less of the other class types. But Victoria is a blast to play as, okay? So you can become a paladin, a bulwark, or dauntless. The bulwark is good. I mean, she's literally just a beast. She's an absolute beast. Or you can make sure, I mean, obviously you can split everything amongst them as you like. I guess I don't know how I'd build her. This isn't really a build video, as I was. Vanguard is nice. She drops her shield in front of her, powers through the line. Sling shield, it's straight up Captain America. She slings her shield, beans it off the enemies, all right? Lion's Roar basically summons her higher form and gives you some additional perks there as well. Hawkins is nice. Survivalist, Ranger, Realm Walker. What is nice about him is his Spectral Detour. He basically phase shifts into a different realm, and he's able to walk wherever he needs to walk. Phantom Shot is another nice one. It inflicts corrupt on the enemies, and then Rift Arrow is so Rift Arrow basically creates this black hole, and it sucks enemies into it. So that's pretty cool. Rico is, gosh, how do I say this? He is extremely fun to play as, and I know that his difficulty is a 2-star out of 3. He doesn't play like a 2-star, but if you're not careful, he plays like a 3-star. All right. So he has Nimble Sand. Here's the meta. Oh God, I hate saying the meta. You throw Pocket Sand. Once you've thrown Pocket Sand, you use backslash. When you use backslash, he basically teleports behind whatever he's targeted, and he effectively gets an instant kill, okay? So you throw Pocket Sand on your tougher enemies, then you use backslash, you pop behind them, and you're able to do some really good critical hits on those harder enemies, all right? He also has Deadly Thrust, where he just jabs forward with his sword. His primary weapons are a sword and dagger. I believe he can also use a shield, but yeah, I really, really like Rico. He's really, really fun to play as. And if you get good at him, he can carry a team in clutch moments. He's really, really, really good. I love playing as Rico. But that's the characters, and I know I've kind of done an intro video on this before, but I thought, hey, let's revisit this and see where the game is at now. So let's go ahead and jump into some of the gameplay talk. All right, now, as I mentioned earlier, the gameplay is built around melee combat. It is a melee-focused game similar to Vermintide. It also has World War Z, Left 4 Dead 2 upgrades, as well as roguelite elements. So when you die or quit, there's no lost experience or lost gear, right? You can die or lose the objective, and you keep the experience you've gained, able to roll that into standard upgrades for each of the characters. Health, better melee damage, specials, energy buffs, etc. Additionally, you start each match with the same equipment, and those equipment upgrades are acquired during your match. If you want a better sword, you need to find a better sword. If you want a better bow, you need to find a better bow. If you want better books for your mage, for your sorcerer, you need to find those in the mission. When you level up in the match, you have the ability to select some choice perks for your character. Magical defense boosts, ranged offense boosts, health boosts, and critical damage increases. I mean, just to name a few. There are dozens of them. As you progress through the maps, you're afforded the ability to grab these new weapons and upgrades as well from fallen enemies or chests. There's even a vendor at the end of maps that allows you to spend any acquired gold, which I should say gold is shared. If you all pick up 1,000 gold, everyone gets their own portion of 1,000 gold to use. It's not 1,000 gold picked, 1,000 gold shared. Everyone gets their own batch of gold. Entering the match, weapons and gear upgrades are stock, as you would see in your World War Z or Left 4 Dead 2 type games. So you need to work as a team and communicate pickups. Most everyone can use every weapon. In some cases, bows, for example, seem to be universal in usage, but a great bow should be shared with the archer on the team and less with the mage, for example. So what are my final thoughts on this? Well, we're going to go ahead and give this a yes, but I am going to level with you. Matches can be very time consuming. I've had a few matches that do last well into the 45-minute or hour mark. A few. Not very 20-minute gamer friendly. But if you need to go, you can still pop smoke and leave without penalty. The rewards are going to be there. Your teammates might not be thrilled, but if you got to go, you got to go. The content is there. Matches drop you right into the action and you're not left wandering, waiting for the combat to spike. There are, of course, drags in between each engagement, sure, but no more than you find in any other game. Dark Tide, Aliens, World War Z, take your pick. I enjoy the game a lot. I look forward to seeing more content for this game and seeing where the game develops into. Once again, Mythforce is on Epic, early access. It's definitely worth a look. We're going to go ahead and give this one a thumbs up. Stay safe. We'll catch you on the next one. If you like what you see, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you out there. Nick out.